Well, here we are plodding home. Higgins is very good at that. And we'll just see if he's got another little trot in him. I want to talk about sitting trot. I do some sitting trot, and I'm not an overly heavy person, and I like to feel that I ride light anyway, regardless of my weight. But I just wanted to say that these Clydesdales, are not designed to carry weight through their backs, and they are weaker in their backs than some other breeds, and so therefore, I try and I want to develop muscle. I'm sitting to the trot now. I want to develop muscle on his back. I want to develop muscle before I do a lot in sitting trot and a lot in canter, because he has an inherent weakness common to all of this breed. Whereas, come on, it's so silly. Come on, because if you're going to have a look, we're going to keep trotting. Whereas the continental cobs, although they're always, were primarily bred for agricultural purposes, they have a lot stronger backs. Say like Della now, her back is incredibly strong and soft, and there's no problems that way, and she could carry a rider in sitting trot much more easily than Higgins could. Now I just picked up the trot then because he just wanted to have a look at the smallest piece of plastic that actually just really isn't worth looking at, but that's horses, isn't it? So now we're back to steady Hig. So when it matters, I'm very gentle with him and all of them, and I give a lot of praise, because praise and reward is a very powerful training tool. But also, when I need to be, I'm very firm, because it is that firmness that gives the horse the confidence. Too much praise without the firmness, and the horse loses confidence quickly in the rider. Because although they love the praise, it really has to be earned, and not just praise for its own sake, because they will lose confidence in you. And so when I need to be, I am very firm, very, very firm, but fair. And it's fair firmness, or firmness with fairness, is the key, because then they have the belief that you're going to follow through. Because nothing makes them feel more insecure than a rider who starts something and gets halfway around and then thinks better of it, because they tend to lose faith in the rider very quickly when that happens. So yes, if I need to be firm, I will be firm, and the rest of the time I'm very gentle, and always, whether I'm being gentle or firm, I'm just there, I'm supportive. So by being supportive, Higgins is able to stick his head right down on the ground, and he's not, at this moment, worried about anything. So what I've got to do is get more of those moments, so that we have 98% of those moments and only 2%, because you're never going to get 100%, not until they're about 18, where he has those moments increasing lengths of time. So they will be cutting the corn soon, so we can get in on these fields. And it's not that he's not worried about open spaces, it's a different perspective, and it's the same for all of them. These young horses, you've got to kind of support them through it, and you've got to really take control of the situation and ride them through it, so they get that confidence in these different environments. And yes, it's hard, and they can do things, but the thing is, at least they're young and innocent. It's when you get on these older horses that have been got so many habits in open spaces. You know, I can think of any number I've ridden over the years, and I won't go into it now, but they're a nightmare because they're not innocent, and you know that you're going to be in big trouble. Oh, here's a tanker lorry. You're going to be in big trouble when you get to these open spaces. Oh, well, we'll have to just wait here. That's another thing I've got to do with Higgins, is more gate work. He's a little bit, he is quite worried about gates. Oh, so anyway, we'll do that too. So, yeah, nothing's worse than... Hello? Hello? Can you just stop there a minute while I turn round? Can you just stop a minute while I turn round? Okay, thank you. I didn't want him coming out dragging that pipe. I want him to see this pipe from this... Oh, I thought he was going to drag it out onto the drive, and I thought, no horse wants to see that before they're used to it. It's like a most enormous hose. Oh, have you? Oh, okay, well I'll go back further back up here, and because there's just no way out, you know. I've got to, well there is actually, we could go back through the farm, but there's all those gates, and I just hopefully he'll put his pipes on board and that'll be it. Yeah, so I'll be doing more in open spaces with him and Jupiter, who is actually better than Higgins. Higgins is like a typical young horse. The hedge lines really get him, so I'll have to be doing that work. Each year I think I won't do this again. I won't do any more of this, but yeah, each year there's another young one to do. So yeah, so the older horse that's been not introduced in the right way is I mean, I don't think I will bother to ride them anymore, because they're just, well, they are just a nightmare. Generally because people have come into open spaces and just gone cantering off, and so the horse has got fear, he's got anticipation, he just wants to get going, and if he can't get going, you know, he starts bucking and you know, cantering sideways and all the rest of the things, and we all know those sorts. I'll let him eat because it might just keep him standing here more quietly.